guys, we're out here in Hollywood with Morgan Page before a show at Avalon, and we're just gonna hang out with him and ask him some questions. How are you doing tonight?
Doing good, yeah. Ready for the show.
Yeah, that's good to hear, man. You ready?
Yeah.
You all good? For sure. Well, we'll start it off with a basic question. How did this all begin for you? You know, where did it come from? Where did the drive come? Like, you know, have you always wanted to be like a DJ and a producer?
Yeah, I've always wanted to make music. Always wanted to DJ and have that crowd reaction, and everything kind of started with radio. You know, starting in college radio, and I really wanted to see my audience eventually. So I did all these mix shows, and then thought, well, maybe I can try making music and get my stuff out there and do something different. Mm-hmm. And I just always sort of just felt that in my blood. I was just like, I got to do music. So yeah.
Mm-hmm. That's great. Well, I'm the same way, you know, as a musician myself. But anyway, we'll go on. So I know you live out here in LA, but you're not from here, huh?
That's right. Yeah, I moved out here about 11 years ago, so I'm from Vermont originally.
Oh wow. So you did all your schooling out there and everything too?
Paid my East Coast dues with the winters out there, and then after 18 years of winter in Vermont, I got tired of that and went to Boston for 4 years, and then moved out here.
Awesome. Well, did you study? That's where you studied out in Boston?
Yeah, I went to Emerson College.
Oh, nice. All right. Well, let's go on to the next question. So, as a DJ, I'm pretty sure you have a lot of vinyls. Mm-hmm. So, what was the first one you ever bought?
It's actually a drum and bass record, of all things. I used to buy a lot of different genres. So it was a Photech record on Astralworks, which is funny because I met him like a year ago out here in LA, because everybody's living in LA now. So that was one of the first vinyl records for DJing that I bought. Mm-hmm. And then I got much more into house music and things like that. But
of course.
Yeah.
Well, that's awesome. So how big is your collection?
It's all with my parents now. I sent all the vinyl back, and when I moved to California, a lot of it got warped. So I had stacks of it, and I moved pretty quickly to the digital world of things, Ableton and all that. So, but yeah, it's got to be like 6,000 records, something like that. So, yeah,
that's substantial.
Yeah.
All right. Well, so when you're planning out your tour, album, whatever, do you focus on promoting first, or DJ, or getting the set down, or producing?
Well, it depends what sort of cycle I'm in. Like right now is an album cycle, so it's less touring. Mm-hmm. It's more just writing the album, writing the songs, and then figuring out what kind of framework I want the songs to be in, whether it's like more for the club, more for radio. And when I'm out on the road, I don't produce very much on the road. It's more focusing on the show and doing edits and mashups and being prepared. Figure out what I'm going to play that night, which transitions work best, things like that. So I kind of compartmentalize into these different modes.
That's really cool. So would you say that's like kind of like a basic? Do you do your own twist on it, or is that just basically like, would you say every DJ producer would go that way? Like,
I think everyone does their own thing. Some guys are really good at like penciling in chords and writing music on the road. I'm not as good at that. I'm I took piano for a few years, so I like to have a keyboard in my hands, and I like to it's fun to stare at a computer screen for a while, and then I want to play some other instruments as well. So it's been really refreshing to be back, be an artist again, like be working in the studio playing piano, and I have a real piano in the studio, not a plug-in, and play instruments, other instruments as well.
Oh, what other instruments do you play?
Just guitar. Yeah. So, but I feel like with piano it's a lot easier than guitar and other things. So
because it translates onto Ableton.
Yeah.
The piano
for
roll.
sure.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. But all right, moving on. Okay, so what other countries have you performed at, and where would you say is your favorite? Like when you hear that you're getting booked over there, you're like, yes.
Yeah. Well, there's been a lot of growth in Asia with electronic dance music, so it's been really exciting to play China and India and Indonesia and South Korea. I play Australia a lot. We're doing the first tour in South Africa. Actually, it's gonna be this month.
Oh,
it's gonna be crazy. But going to a country like India for the first time is very exciting. I was a little scared about the food and things like that, but no, it worked out. It was awesome. And, didn't get sick, so India was really cool. Play Brazil. What else? But my main fan base is North America. But so I play the UK and Sweden, Switzerland, various places in Europe. But usually I'm playing in Asia or North America or South America.
Oh, that's cool. Well, must be wild to experience different cultures and stuff too, huh?
Yeah, it's good. It's two very different modes. You're in your studio mode, and you're not around a lot of people, and you're focused. or sometimes there's big groups of people writing in the studio, and then you have your 10,000 people, festival somewhere overseas, and that's like the complete opposite of being by yourself in the studio.
Mm-hmm. Well, yeah, that must be, life-changing.
Yeah.
Especially. But, all right, so what is your view on the scene at the moment?
I think it's in a good place for the most part. I think, it's sort of a wait and see thing to see what happens with all the sponsorships and sort of the money trail if you follow it to see what's going on. And the fact that a few companies are owning most of the events that are happening, the big festivals, you may start to see some strange effects with that, and I'm not sure what that's going to be yet. But because things have gotten really consolidated, it could be a really good thing. It could be, on one hand, it really helps the budgets, it makes the events bigger, and they have more, funding to make them safer and to book more DJs and to make them bigger events. But on the other hand, you have fewer people making the big decisions. Yeah. So we're gonna see what happens, But I think musically, I love what's coming out. I think there is a lot of stuff that sounds the same. That's one downside of the sort of ease of use of making music these days, and the sort of lack of there being like a barrier to entry. So I think it's easier than ever to make music, but it's never been more refreshing to make music that's different than now. So a lot of good music. It's a lot I have to go through for the promos and things like that to find the good stuff that stands out. But lots of great music. Yeah, some of the best. It's, I think, one of the best times to be making music.
Most definitely, I agree. Because I'm a student, so seeing young people growing up and everyone's trying to share share their works with each other.
Yeah.
I can tell it's definitely progressing, even with new artists. Mashups, collaborations, that kind of stuff. So do you ever think about who you want to collab with? You just hit them up one day and be like, hey man, I like your stuff.
Yeah. I have a wish list with this album of who I want to work with, and not everyone's available all the time. Sometimes you get people that you don't expect that come out of the woodwork that are like, wow, I can't believe we're doing a track. So I can't reveal any secrets yet, but some really cool collaborations in the works. A lot of new up and coming guys. And it's cool because I like to learn from younger producers as well. And you never know everything with audio and music, and you're always learning. You're always sort of humbled by that. So.
Well, yeah, that's very good. Well, next question is, there's basically nothing ever goes as planned, as you probably know. So what is the funniest thing you say would happen to you, at a show? Whether it was, right before you went on or during the set or whatever.
Funniest thing? Well, the power goes out more often than you would expect. I had a mixer fry once. That wasn't funny, but it was, the DJ booth was filling up with water, because the club was like a sold out night, and the air conditioning broke and started leaking, and the water started to rise in the DJ booth. So there was 4 inches of water right by the DJ mixer. So that was not good.
Man.
But
you went through it.
Yeah.
I guess.
But yeah, other than that, I would say funny moments, dancers falling down off the poles maybe, or things like that. That tends to happen in Vegas sometimes. But they're mostly professionals working there. So.
All right. Well. Let's see, what else? So, do you have any advice for aspiring DJs and producers?
Yeah, and I'd say I get asked this question a lot, and I'd say I think the most important thing is really putting the time in, and a lot of people don't realize the kind of sacrifices you have to make time-wise. There's the 10,000 hour theory that you got to put 10,000 hours in to master something, and not really sure what mastering something is, but to be really proficient at it. So if you look at any of these guys, even these super young guys like Martin Garrix, they've probably put the 10,000 hours in already, or Hardwell. They just started really early. There is no overnight success, and if there is, it's the result of a group of people helping one person, or it's somebody else is doing the work and they'd already put the 10,000 hours in. So it's a ghost writer or something like that.
Exactly. Yeah. There's that whole controversy behind ghost producing too.
Yeah. And I could go on for a long time about that, but it sort of irks me, the whole ghost producing thing, because I've had to work so hard to do my own records and write everything from scratch. But no man is an island, and you do need other people to help work on your records a lot of the time, bounce ideas off them, things like that. But I think it's when people get uncredited. That's what bothers me with it. But.
Yeah, did you hear about the recent Dead Mouse and Wild Styles battle?
Yeah, I saw a little of that.
Because, you know,
where he ripped off a Dead Mouse track or something.
Yeah, I think it was some chords.
Yeah,
and it was really like they didn't even try to change it, you know.
Yeah.
So you think, and they pretty much got away with it. So it was ridiculous.
Yeah.
You know, it sucks to see that.
Yeah. But you know, in terms of other advice too, so I'm basically compiling a book for producers, and I've spent about 15 years. You know, every year I've made music. I've kept really detailed notes and ideas on the creative process, and so I'm combining it all into a book that kind of distills all those little nuggets into one place. So it's gonna be really exciting. So
do you have a projected date of when next?
I'm trying to. I was starting it. I was like just about to get the illustrations done and get the layout all finished, and then it was like, oh, I've got to work on the album. So I think late this year, late 2014. But I want this thing to be like the music Bible. You know, it's like something you always have in your laptop bag, like you're taking out for a flight and you want to read it and get inspired. So you can kind of melt writer's block or go into more tech detail on how to troubleshoot things with your computers, things like that.
Oh, well, that's quite inspirational. Well, you heard that, folks. Look out for Morgan's book coming out late this year. If you're a struggling producer, it might help solve all your problems.
Yeah, and actually there's tips now if anybody wants to check it out now. It's just twitter.com/mpquicktips. So it's like Morgan Page Quick Tips. So there's a tip a day right now, and then the best ones of those are going to be in the book.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, you heard it right from the source.
Yeah.
Well, other than that, that's all we have for you. But any last comments? Any final notes?
No, just definitely if anybody wants to check out the radio show, there's the SiriusXM show that's on every week.
And it's
BPM.
on SoundCloud.
Yeah, it's also on SoundCloud, and so you can subscribe to it. It's free on iTunes. Just search for Morgan Page and check out the mix show. And yeah.
All right. Well, this has been our interview with Morgan Page. It was a delight talking with you.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
And Body from the Daily Beat signing out.